Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. This is Rija. Today we will see another ICD guidelines of infectious organism. Chapter 1. Sepsis, severe sepsis, septic shock. So we will see the coding conditions of the infectious organism. How to code sepsis, severe sepsis. We will see in the ICD 10 guidelines. First of all, sepsis. How to code this? We will see. So, suppose in the documentation, we have the diagnosis of sepsis caused by some organism. We have a particular code. Suppose if we are not having sepsis due to some organism. So, we can code the unspecified organism code, that is A41.9. Okay, let's see an example. Patient is coming with sepsis infection of unspecified organism. How to code this? So, patient is coming with infection. What is the infection? Sepsis. Here we are unable to know the organism, what it is. So, what I will code? Unspecified organism, that is A41.9. First we check the sepsis, that is the main term. Then check unspecified organism. So, this completes the coding of sepsis. Next, we will see another guideline. See, a code from subcategory R65.2, that is severe sepsis. It should not be coded until unless if the documentation we are having severe sepsis or any organ dysfunction is there, then only we can code this. Otherwise we cannot code. So sepsis means just an infection because of septicemia. Okay, that is sepsis. So in severe sepsis, the documentation should have severe sepsis or its organ dysfunction. These two are the terms we need to find in a document. Then only we can code R65.2. Okay. So sepsis with some organ dysfunction is there. So in this sepsis and organ dysfunction, we need to follow the instructions for coding of this. Let's see. So I am saying organ dysfunction. So how this should be related in the documentation, we will see in this guideline. So when the organ dysfunction will be there, okay, when severe sepsis is there, then only organ dysfunction is there. Okay, suppose a patient is having sepsis and some organ dysfunction. Okay, documentation should clearly relate that organ failure is because of sepsis. Then only we can code the R65.2, severe sepsis. Otherwise we should not code. Then how to code severe sepsis? Severe sepsis is nothing but the organism and organ dysfunction. So in this we need minimum two codes. First infection code, that is sepsis code. Then we need to code the severe sepsis code, that is R65.2. Okay, let's see an example. Patient coming to hospital because of what? Severe sepsis associated with hepatic failure. So, severe sepsis means what? What are the codes we required? First is system infection, that is sepsis organism code, and then severe sepsis code, that is R65.2, and then here we have organ failure also. So here we have hepatic failure. So three codes required. First I will give sepsis code, that is A41.9. Then severe sepsis code, that is R65.20. Then what is the third one? Hepatic failure. Here we have specific organ failure mentioned. So we need to code that also as per the guideline. So code will be K72.90. Okay. So severe sepsis is nothing but first organism code, then severe sepsis code. Then if the documentation any failure is there, we need to code for that. So minimum two codes. If any failure like that, three codes. So this is severe sepsis coding. Next we will see one more guideline. So sequencing of severe sepsis. Suppose when patient is admitting at the time of the admission, severe sepsis is there for the patient. So first principal diagnosis should be severe sepsis only. Suppose if during the admission here severe sepsis is not there, but at the time of the encounter If he have that, so what need to code other diagnosis? So first we need to code other diagnosis, then the secondary will be the severe sepsis. Okay. And one more thing, we should not code the severe sepsis as PDX as the principal diagnosis. We should code the first organism, okay, and if we don't have any clear documentation during the admission, like that, we need the query to physician. Okay. Next we will see septic shock. Septic shock is nothing but the circulatory failure along with severe sepsis. So it requires minimum of 3 codes. First systemic infection, that is sepsis, then severe sepsis with the septic shock R65.21, then organ failure also. Okay. Let's see an example. A patient with septic shock and acute respiratory failure has come to hospital for evaluation. So here we will code this. So here we should check the term, that is septic shock in acute respiratory failure. So septic shock is nothing but severe sepsis, septicemia and septic shock. So as per the guideline, septic shock means first we need to code organism, then severe sepsis with septic shock and then organ failure. So here first we will code organism. So we do, the organism has code A41.9 as unspecified organism. Next we will code the severe sepsis, that is septic shock, R65.21. At last respiratory failure code, that is J96.0. Okay. So these are the remaining guidelines. That's all for now. If you like this, please click the subscribe button and share to your friends. See you on the next video.